All right, at this point we have learned how to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So it is time now to tackle that last operation of division. And so today we're going to be working on polynomial long division. Now, you all did long division with numbers probably about 3rd or 4th grade. So if you have forgotten how that process goes, hopefully you watched the video that I provided. I know that it's kind of elementary, but it's a pretty good review of how that long division process worked. And it is the same long division process that we're going to use now as we work with these polynomials. This can be a little tricky in the beginning. It may take you a day or so to kind of get used to the steps and to get comfortable with them. So if you feel like you're struggling at first, please don't be concerned about that. That's totally normal. And if you do have questions, especially those of you who are 100% virtual and won't be in school to learn this, please be sure and let me know so that we can set up individual Zoom meetings or whatever we need to do to get you headed in the right direction on this. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at our first problem. So for our first problem, we are going to do x squared plus 9x plus 20, which is a trinomial. And we are going to divide that by x plus 5. Now, the first thing I need to do here is I need to rewrite this as a long division problem. So we want to use that same long division symbol that you used way back when. The thing that we are dividing goes on the inside. So we're going to put x squared plus 9x plus 20 in here. And then we're going to put what we're dividing by, which is x plus 5, here on the outside. All right, now, here is how the process is going to begin. We are going to take the first term inside, which is x squared, and the first term outside, which is an x. And what we need to do is figure out how many times this x will go into this x squared. Now, I want you to keep in mind that when you're trying to figure that out, how many times will this x go into this x squared, what you're trying to figure out is what would I have to multiply times this x in order to get x squared. So think of it that way. What would I have to multiply times this x to get this x squared? And you all know that you would have to multiply x times x in order to get x squared. So when I'm looking at this and thinking how many times will x go into x squared, the answer is x times, because it takes x times x to make x squared. Now I'm going to put that up here on the top, and I want you to notice I'm putting it above the 9x. Those are like terms, so I'm putting that above the 9x. All right, now that I have my x up here, I'm going to take this x and I'm going to multiply it by x plus 5, sitting out in front. So first I'm going to do x times x, which is x squared. I'm going to put that right here, underneath x squared. And then I'm going to do x times positive 5. And that is a positive 5x. Notice that that lines up right underneath that 9x. Now, it's at this point that we want to subtract. So I'm going to subtract all of this. So you'll notice I'm going to wrap that up in a set of parentheses. This subtraction sign affects all of this. So we're doing x squared minus x squared. That, of course, is 0. Those cancel each other out. And then we are also doing 9x minus this 5x. So positive 9x minus 5x, which is 4x. Now, we've got that part done. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring down this plus 20. And now we're doing the 4x plus 20 divided by the x plus 5. So now our division process starts all over again. So again here, you're going to take your first term, which is now 4x. And you're going to take your first term, which is x. And we're going to see how many times x will go into 4x. So in other words, x times what will give me 4x as my answer. And of course, that's going to be a positive 4. So we're going to put a positive 4 up here. It would take 4 times x to get you 4x. All right, now, once we put our plus 4 up here, we're going to take the plus 4 and multiply it by the x plus 5. So we're going to do 4 times x, which is 4x. Put it right underneath 4x. And then 4 times 5 is 20. And then again, at this point, we are going to subtract. And keep in mind, we're subtracting all of this. All right, 4x minus 4x, of course, is 0. These are going to cancel each other out. And then 20 minus 20. These are going to cancel each other out as well. So remember, we would get a remainder of 0 here. And that problem is done. So the answer for x squared plus 9x plus 20 divided by x plus 5 is x plus 4. So that's my answer. That's my quotient. So I looked for how many times my first term out here would go into my first term right here, and I put that up on top. I take what's on top and multiply it by what I'm dividing by, and that goes underneath. I subtract. We bring down that next term, and it starts all over again. So this is a process definitely that repeats itself until everything is all done. Now you can check these. Since this is a division problem, the answer, of course, could be checked by using multiplication. So to check it, I could take my answer, x plus 4, and let me write down here that I'm checking it so you'll know why we're doing this. So I take my answer, x plus 4, I multiply it by what I was dividing by, which is x plus 5. And you all know how to do this. We distribute. So we do x times x, which is x squared. We do x times 5, which is 5x. We do 4 times x, which is 4x. And we do 4 times 5, which is 20. And then we combine our like terms and get x squared plus 9x plus 20. That's what we had right here. So that lets me know that x plus 4 is the correct answer. So these can be checked. It's not a requirement that you check, but I wanted to just show you real quickly how you could do that if you felt like you needed to. All right, so there's one example. And hopefully in this you can see that same third grade division process. All right, so let's try this one next. Let's do 6x squared plus 7x minus 20, and then we'll divide that by 2x plus 5. All right, so again, Let's start by writing this in our long division format. On the inside, we put 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. And then on the outside, we put what we're dividing by, which is 2x plus 5. All right, so here's what our problem looks like. And here we go. So what we're going to do here first is we're going to take our first term out here, which is 2x. First term in here, 6x squared. And what we want to know is how many times will 2x go into this 6x squared. So how many times will 2x go into this 6x squared? So remember, what you're really trying to figure out is 2x times what would give you 6x squared. So 2x times what would give you 6x squared? And that, of course, would be 3x. Now notice that when I figure out how many times 2x will go into 6x squared, I put that on top of my division problem. Now, what I just put on the top is going to get multiplied by what's out front. And then the answer will get put down here. So we're going to do 3x times 2x, 6x squared. And then we're also going to do 3x times 5, 15x. All right, time to subtract. And you're subtracting both parts of this. So I'm going to wrap it in parentheses. All right, 6x squared minus 6x squared, of course, is going to be 0. These will cancel each other out. And then you're doing 7x minus 15x. So 7x minus 15x, that is a negative 8x. Now, our very next term is a negative 20, so we're going to bring that down. And now we're ready to start all over again. So to kind of recap what we've done, how many times does 2x go into 6x squared? The answer is 3x. That goes on top. What we put on top gets multiplied by 2x plus 5, and we put that underneath. We have subtracted. We're bringing down our next term, and now we're about to start this all over again. So again here, we're interested in knowing this. How many times will this 2x go into this negative 8x? So how many times will 2x go into this negative 8x? So in other words, 2x times what is negative 8x? So again, 2x times what is negative 8x? And the answer is negative 4. So we're going to put that up on the top. Now we're going to multiply. So our negative 4 that we just put up top is going to get multiplied by this 2x plus 5. So we're going to do negative 4 times 2x. That is negative 8x. And then our negative 4 times our positive 5 is going to give us a negative 20. All right, now that we filled in what goes down here, we're going to subtract these two. See what we're left with. So we're doing a negative 8x minus a negative 8x. That, of course, is going to zero out. And then you're doing a negative 20 minus a negative 20. And that also is going to zero out. So right now, notice we're doing a lot of problems where the remainder is 0. We'll start changing that a little bit tomorrow. Today, I just kind of want you to get used to the process. So the answer for 6x squared plus 7x minus 20 divided by 2x plus 5 is 3x minus 4. And again, if I wanted to check that, I would check it with a multiplication problem. I would take my 3x minus 4 and multiply it by my 2x plus 5. And what I'm hoping to get is 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. So 3x times 2x, there's my 6x squared. 3x times 5 is 15x. Negative 4 times 2x is a negative 8x. And negative 4 times 5 is a negative 20. And then when I combine my like terms, 15x minus 8x is 7x. So I get 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. That checks out. All right, let's do one more. This time, let's do 15x squared plus 26x plus 8 divided by 5x plus 2. All right, so let's get it set up like a long division problem. On the inside, 15x squared plus 26x plus 8. And on the outside, 5x plus 2. All right, so remember how this whole process begins. We take our first term, 5x, and we want to know how many times that will go into this first term, 15x squared. So how many times will 5x go into 15x squared? And remember, that means 5x times what will get us 15x squared. And we know the answer for that is 3x. So I'll put 3x up on top. That's how many times 5x will go into 15x squared. All right, next I know I'm going to multiply. I'm going to multiply 3x times 5x plus 2. So 3x times 5x is 15x squared. And remember, I put this answer underneath, and then 3x times 2 is 6x. All right, time to subtract. All right, so first up we have 15x squared minus 15x squared. Those two will zero each other out, cancel each other out. And then we're doing 26x minus 6x, which is 20x. All right, now that our subtraction is done, we're going to bring down our plus 8. And then we're going to repeat the entire process all over again. So now we're looking at our 5x out here, and we want to know how many times that will go into 20x. So how many times will 5x go into 20x? In other words, 5x times what is 20x? And the answer is 4. So I'm going to put a plus 4 up on the top. 5x will go into 20x 4 times. So plus 4 on the top. Now I want to multiply that 4 that I just put on top by the 5x plus 2. So 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times 2 is 8. And now I will subtract. And you know, again here, let me emphasize, the subtraction is where people usually miss these because they forget that this minus sign distributes to both of these terms. You're subtracting both of these. So you're subtracting 20x and you're subtracting 8. So be sure that you're careful with that. So 20x minus 20x, 20 minus 20 of course is 0, those are going away. And then 8 minus 8. 0 there as well. So again, notice that remainder of 0. So my answer over here for 15x squared plus 26x plus 8 divided by 5x plus 2 is 3x plus 4. And just because we can, let's check this last one, just so you can see this works. And we check it with the multiplication problem, 3x plus 4 times 5x plus 2. So 3x times 5x is 15x squared. 3x times 2 is 6x. 4 times 5x is 20x. And 4 times 2 is 8. Once we combine the like terms, we end up with 15x squared plus 26x plus 8, right back where we started. So that checks out. 3x plus 4 is the answer. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I think there are maybe 7 problems on today's assignment, so give those 7 a try. And you know, let me know how it goes.